Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the beautiful wisdom circle where we are here as guiding lights for you. We are so excited to have you joining us today. And I am here with Elena, and Pamela is in India still, and Angela is not able to be here today. So you get us today, and we are here to bring forth some inspiration, some ideas, some conversations, ways to go deeper. And yeah, that's what we're
Yeah,
here for. So,
100%. I'm excited. It always works out the way it needs to be, but our conversation last week was so lit up. I'm just super excited to carry on the conversation and see what unfolds today.
yes, it was so fabulous. And I actually, I'm sharing that today with everyone. I'm a week behind, and I think it works out really good that way. So I'm just sharing that out there in my emails today, and I just couldn't wait to get it out because I'm like, it was so hot, sizzling it.
Right? So good. Such good conversation. What came through was meant to be channeled at the time. And again, today, I'm just excited to tap into the energies and bring in what needs to come in.
Yes. And I was thinking about that this morning because I woke up this morning with I want more. Let's go.
Yes.
And so the beautiful like pulled cards and the beautiful cards just like reflected that, you know, go for it, plan, focus, make sure you're grounded and rooted and set your sights higher is what it
Mm,
was basically saying. So if you're hearing this message is for you too. Um but I was thinking this morning about that the the undulations of energy, how each day is different, and each day you wake up with different feelings within you if you're really tapped in. Now, I'm not talking about moods. Moods are
right.
different from this energetic feeling, this rising up from within you. So this morning I felt that, okay, it's time. Go, go. And yet last weekend it was no, relax, retreat, take time to recharge and spend time on you. And then other days it might be release, surrender, let it all go, just be.
Right.
And so I was like, some people would say, well, it's kind of all over the place, but it's guidance. It's that
Mhm.
guidance each and every day. And when we don't listen to it, like yesterday, I was feeling very much like, you know what? I really would love to just retreat and recharge again and just be maybe writing or sink into my writing or sink into a book or something, but I have this painting I need to finish. So I'm like, "No, we need to paint today. Today's painting day." That's what I had on the schedule. Today's
Mhm.
painting day.
Yep.
Well, it didn't move forward. It didn't like, it just wasn't unfolding the way I wanted it to, and, yeah, I shoulda just sat down and did some writing.
Well, lesson, right? And we can't force things to unfold if we're not feeling it. And this is it. It's like really, and this is one of the things I work on with my clients is paying attention to what feels good for you in the moment. And because we've been programmed to show up anyway, to like push things down. And I was actually speaking with a beautiful soul last night where she literally never put herself first all the time, always put other people in front of her, like their needs above hers. And we're taught to suppress. We're taught to like push forward, have control, make things happen. And like you said about being fired up about like creating something is a different energy than pushing forward and making things happen. Like that's a totally different energy. But it's funny you mentioned this morning I'm pulling cards. The card I pulled this morning and one of this deck that I have, it's the Shaman Dream Oracle by Colette Baron Reed and Alberto Ball.
Oh, yes, I have that deck. Yeah.
I love this deck. One thing I noticed about it is sometimes you got to read between the lines of what's going on. But it was like, it was so funny. And you mentioned the pulling cards of like, I pulled this card and my first, oh, you can't see because of the background. But my first thought was, oh, this seems, oh man, there we go. this
Mm.
seems dark and it seems heavy and I'm not sure exactly and turmoilish. And it's talking about the perfect storm. But the following line is the courage to step into life, which is a totally different energy when you think about perfect storm and chaos and shade changes and shifts. But it's like what it talks is about is letting go of the things that we're truly attached to that are holding us stuck and allowing them what needs to move, which is kind of what you're talking about in the moment of like some days and leaning into that. Some days we need to feel into what we're supposed to do or feel into and pay attention to what we're being guided to versus, okay, well, I had this on the schedule, so I need to push through and have it and force it into place anyway.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, so true. There's 2 things you said there. Well, first of all, the raven, oh my gosh,
Right?
the raven has been coming up, like, just as you pulled that up, I'm like, "The raven again?"
Always.
So that's cool, I'll have to dig into that. What was the other thing oh, you were talking about, um, the energies, of the day, but how your client was always putting someone else first.
Hmm.
And that I don't think that's talked about enough because that is truly a nervous system response to life.
Hmm.
That is one of the fight, flight, fawn, or freeze F words when we're talking
Hmm.
about nervous system. Um, the fawn is the one who does that. Puts
Mm.
herself last, hides, shrinks smaller, makes sure everybody else is okay. And
Yeah.
so when you think of that as, um, a nervous system response, you can kinda go, "Wait a minute, why?
Hmm.
Why am I doing this?" And how is it keeping me safe from experiencing life to the fullest?
Yeah.
From being able to go out there and say, "Ah," all my life, I can remember as a kid, like, "I want more. I want more."
Hmm.
And I was called selfish and greedy and
Right? That's the program.
unrealistic, and I'm a dreamer and all of this, and it wasn't until, you know, I'm in my later adult years where I'm going, "Wait a minute, I want more, and that's okay. That does not mean
Yes,
I'm not grateful for what I have."
of course.
Right? So,
Yeah. But
and
like
I
you
think
said go ahead,
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. No, no, go. Go.
I was just gonna say, like you said, like literally that's what I ended up teaching this week in my community is that we're we are taught, like you said, of this be of service and you can't be selfish. That's a bad thing. Where it's like you said, stepping into it, that's no, that's you retrieving and stepping into your power. We're supposed to be and I talked about it as well this week. I don't have my cup with me. I had a cup with me a minute ago. But like we're supposed to give, not because we feel like it or fawn and like we feel like we have to be the savior complex or we have to help others constantly. And then because what we're doing when we do that sometimes, and it feels like we're in a good space that we're supposed to help people, but we're also taking away their power by doing it, by over supporting without allowing them their own independence and sovereignty. The other piece too is like the cup, and I was gonna say is that we talked about as well is the fact that, we all think of like the cup as like, oh, we're not supposed to give from an empty cup. But we also are not supposed to give from a half full cup either. And we go and we do things and we give from our cup and we give and we give. And then we go do things like, oh, well, my cup is getting empty. I'm feeling drained. Like you said, you paid attention to the I need to retreat and rest. But most of us have been programmed in the idea of, okay, well, my cup, I'm feeling drained. I'm going to do some self care. So we go get our hair done or our nails done or something like that, where it's like, okay, well, okay, your hair is a need, not a self care item. Just saying. Um, do you need to do all the things? Maybe not, but it's still like it's one of those things that I don't consider self-care anymore because it's not really it's doing something else. You're still adding something else to your to-do list that you're like unless you're truly taking that time to feel abundant, to feel refreshed, to like then it's usually just a tick in the box. But the giving of the cup, it's like, well, I'll add these a couple things in, but I but we'll get back to half full and then we'll start giving it away until it's almost empty again.
Yeah.
And we've been sold a lie. We're not supposed to do that. Ooh, I raised
Mhm.
my hand. I gotta stop talking with my hands. Um, because we're actually supposed to give from the overflow of the cup. We're not supposed to give of what's in the cup. We're supposed to give from the overflow, which means we're supposed to have all of the abundance, all of the love, all of the money, all of the things first, and then give from what's pouring out of us because there's so much. We're giving from the more, from the I have too much, I need to give of
Yeah.
what I have.
Oh my gosh, I love this because that is raising the bar of what is full for you. Instead of,
Mhm.
like you said, we keep emptying it. So how do we this is perfect because for everyone watching, how do we raise the bar? How do we get the cup full and accept that that's the level we wanna be at before we start giving away? Because when we get into overflow, like you said, so often we go, "Oh, no, this is more than I need. I don't need all
Right?
this," and you start to give it away and shrink yourself back down, and there is what's the word I'm looking for? It's like a frequency level that you are used to,
Yeah.
and when you want to expand into more, it's gonna bump you into some edges that are not comfortable, that you
Yeah.
need to face and go, "Wait, like, so I said, like, I was always taught or told I was a dreamer, I was being greedy. Those words came out of my mouth today because those are my edges of wanting more, and I need to, really face them. But,
Mm.
what do you have there? What comes to mind when somebody says, "Well, how do I do that?"
Well, like you said, it's literally that spot, that edge that you're at is like literally the thermostat on the wall. And so it's like you can't move, you can move a little above or a little below, like the heat will go up or down, but it stays close to that set point. So we need to figure out, like you said, paying attention to the set point where you start feeling that edge. And then it's like, okay, when the thing about shifting and creating lasting change and moving past that glass ceiling that we've all built for ourselves because or invisible ceiling because it's really not there. We just think it's there. Is like when we do have to get familiar with the edge. And you asked one really good question earlier, the why. And this is one of the other things, the tools I taught in my community. And I'm glad to share it here, but it's the 7 layers of why. So if you never heard of it, it's literally like when you ask yourself the question, like you said, I'm getting this edge. Why do I feel like why do I feel like this is selfish? And you allow the first answer to come. And then you're like, okay, well, that's one layer. And then ask it again. But why? Like, so for example, if you're okay with it, let's use you as a little
Go
test. That's
ahead.
okay.
Yeah.
So when you feel like it's selfish, why? Let's demonstrate.
Oh, well, because I was told that I should appreciate what I have and be grateful for what I have.
Okay.
And
And
to ask
why?
for more is
Yep. Keep going. Sorry.
selfish. Mhm.
And then so why would it be selfish?
Well, because there's so many other people that are going without.
Hmm. And
And,
why does that impact you?
well, I should share. I should
Says
share it all
who?
rather than hoarding it. It's greedy to want more
Why is it greedy?
because I'm taking from others,
Hmm. And why does that matter?
because I don't want to hurt other people,
But why would it hurt them?
because they don't have enough. And so I need to share. I need to am I talking in circles here?
Well, we're
Um,
getting to the point where we're talking in circles, but what I want you to notice
mm,
here is
yeah,
why, um, I guess the better question would be not why does that matter, but it's more of where is this story coming from?
right.
Because
Yes.
you're repeating a story. This is the
Yes, I
circle.
am.
You're
Yes.
reciting the same story over and over.
Yes, because that's what I
So,
was taught, and it is hard to answer because I know the answers.
yeah, and that's it, right? But allow yourself to answer, and this is the part of us being vulnerable, and I would
Yeah.
do the same thing. It's like, okay, so now see the story,
Yes.
but why are we holding on to this story?
Mm. Yes. Okay. Because it's an old pattern. It's an old pattern of what I was taught, and I keep reverting back to it every time, I want to stretch into more. I revert back to that story of like, but you shouldn't want more because you have enough. You have enough, and that's good. And it's taking from other people. Like, look at all the people around you. They're happy with enough. Why can't you be enough? So, this is the story that I was taught when I was little.
Mhm.
There's children in the world starving, eat your supper. Um, like that matters.
Yeah,
Like that matters if I eat or not is not gonna change
because we
the
can't
rest
send the
of the
food to
world,
them, sorry.
right? Right? So the same is like for me, it's like, well, I feel like that story comes up of taking more from the world but the reality in my mind is like there's more than enough for everyone. Like I know this. I know this. But
And
we
this is the gap, right? Where it's like,
yeah.
well, the story's telling me one thing, but I know different. And then so the question is, why do you continue to believe the story?
Hmm. I think it's because and I'm trying to like, not only myself being vulnerable here, but for other people around me too, it's because that's what we see around us.
Mhm.
That's the story played out around us,
Yeah.
and we're not used to seeing more than enough.
Yeah. And this is it. It's like, so when we get to this point where we kind of have the root cause, and that's this like 7 layers of whys again, just keep asking the why until you get down to the root cause. And when you get close to the root cause, and there could be like a couple other things in here that may be deeper. So continue to ask the why in another day when it shows up again. Because this is a beautiful thing about our ascension. We ascend and the
Yeah.
same problem kind of comes back to us and we just remove through or move through layers of it. So as you get to this point where it's like, okay, this is probably somewhere around the root cause, what would you love to choose instead? And this is the rewiring of that change of that thermostat. Is like, okay, well, at first you're going to be like, okay, well, this is where I'm set at. Okay, now we've got the setting. We know why the setting is there.
Mhm.
And then now that you feel familiar with it, how would you love it to be instead?
Hmm. I would love more connection, more love, more expansion, more adventures in the world. I want to live life to its fullest
Mhm.
instead of the day to day mundane, day in, day out. I want more fun, more expansion, more, like I said, connections with people. And yeah, I think too, it's very much like you're hitting something here for me, which is really cool
Mhm.
because when you say why is that story there? It's because the people around you are your loved ones, and you feel like you're going to leave them behind, right? You
Mhm.
feel
See?
like,
There's
"Oh,
the other layer
if
we're looking
I
for.
do this, they're not going to accept me, or they're gonna feel like I've stretched too far away from them," right? And your loved ones, or they're going to feel not enough for me, right?
Mhm.
So those
Well,
kind of things come up.
yeah, this is powerful because, like you said, there was this extra piece that wasn't uncovered until you got to this point.
Mhm.
And then it's like, okay, so now that we're now aware that it's a family impact and that if you start acting in the even if you try to rewire it, because the next step in that conversation would have been, okay, so now that you're aware that this is a story that repeats, when it starts repeating, start creating and using that because we spent years creating that pattern of thinking the same story over and over. So it's become so ingrained. You got to work hard. You got to do the same thing reverse to change it. So then it's like every
Mhm.
time that story comes up, then you're going to come in and be like, okay, I want more connection. I want more, and I'm allowed to want more. And you're going to affirm that in those moments that you start feeling
Yeah.
like, no, this is a story. But uncovering this piece actually empowers you more because now you see that whole underlayer a little more and you understand it more. and you can come from it or look at it with compassion of the reason why I feel the fear, which is usually the base of most of our things that we can't let go of, is because if I act, even if I tried to reaffirm that and act as that, I'm still going to impact my family. And I'm actually, what you're doing is the story that they've created for themselves is you're now creating a gap between you and their story. And there's also the judgment of, oh my gosh, what are they going to think of me when I try to change that story, when they hold on to that story very dearly? And
Mhm.
that's going to separate me from them and they keep
Right,
it safe.
right. Yeah, and that fear of
Mm,
loss, that fear of not belonging, that fear of rejection or
exactly.
separation is huge for all of us,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And so you shift then the story into, you know what? If I am doing this, it's
Yeah.
going to ripple out to them and it's going to activate them to want more and activate them to follow along. So and that was a huge thing last weekend. I was at a beautiful women's gathering on Sunday and that was the big message of the day is stop hiding, stop dulling your light because to keep everyone else comfortable because that's not how we change the world.
Nope.
We change the world when we decide to stand up and shine. And, um, I was really listening to that deeply because in my business, I had pulled back from speaking on a stage presence this fall, and I had decided no, that wasn't going to happen. And maybe I'm not even going to pursue that because I really don't know if I wanna speak on stages, and I love what I'm doing, and so that form was in myself before I went to this women's circle and this women's, it was a conference actually, and then listening to the speakers on stage and feeling very, very comfortable and at the same frequency as the ones on the stage, and then I'm like, "Oh, man, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Okay, maybe I am supposed to speak on stages because me shrinking my light is not bringing forth the message that I desire soulfully aligned women to bring forth, right? So
Yes.
so it's again, it's that shrinking of the light, that going smaller, putting yourself into a box and saying, "No, no, this is
This
the
is
safe
enough.
place. Yeah, that's enough. You don't need more." Instead of just allowing yourself to like burst out, blossom out of that. Yeah, let that light shine, and so
Mhm.
this is it's very cool because that connection now to this morning waking up with, "Well, I want more," right?
Mhm.
I wanna do more, I wanna see more, I wanna experience more. Um, yeah, I love life. I love life.
Right?
And I love
Thank you.
creation energy. Yeah,
Thank
so
you for sharing and being vulnerable and using
oh,
your
thank you.
allowing yourself to be a demonstration.
Oh, you're so welcome. Yeah, thank you for that. That's a beautiful way to work through some of those resistances, the 7 layers of why. And I have heard that actually that was part of the conversation last Sunday too, was, well, why? Well, why? And keep
Mhm.
going and keep going. It's like, okay. And you'll get to the bottom, the fear. Like you said, it's a fear. And it doesn't matter where you are, how much work you've done, is you keep doing it,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's that spiral, it's the layers, Shrek.
Yeah, right? The layers of the onion. Because I had this conversation with a client, this morning, actually. It was like, when you're going through those layers and it's like, why? I feel like I've worked through this. Like you said, it's like the work keeps going. And there's definitely times where you feel like, okay, this thing keeps coming up and I thought I dealt with this already. I've moved past it in your mind. You've done the
Right.
work, whatever. But like you said, it's an ascension. And I had this conversation. I can't remember if we've mentioned this here before, but I had this conversation with a client a while ago around she's like, I said, well, this is the thing is as we go through this ascension, the same problems are going to come back in a different layer, in a different circumstance, in a different way, so that we take those layers off. And she's like, why? Why can't we just? Why can't we just do it all at once? Rip the Band-Aid off. I'm like, could you imagine though, if you think about all the things we've been through in our life and we tried to accomplish all of that in one go, like it's just too much. Like we wouldn't be ready for all of it. And that's exactly what's happening is that as we ascend, as we carry forward, the next layer comes through and
Yes.
it comes through when we're ready for it, not
Yeah.
when we're like, okay, and it always comes through in like a perfect storm. That's exactly what this card was about.
Ah, perfect storm. I love it. And think about it this way. There are people that we've seen get it all. They get their dream comes true, and we think of superstars or actors. It's like,
Mhm.
boom, all of a sudden they're a superstar and they're standing on stage. They're so happy. They're so excited. Like, this is what I've always dreamed of. And then we hear through the media that they crashed because
Yeah.
they weren't ready to hold it.
Yeah.
But you are going through the growth in order to be able to hold it all fully and stably.
Yeah.
When you get there to there, wherever there is for you, there'll be a new there to get to after that. But when you
Yeah.
get there, you'll be ready for it. You will be holding it strongly and stably and without the crash and burn.
Mhm.
And that's what you want. You don't want the, okay, rip the Band-Aid off and put me where I want to be because then, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would
I
be
don't think we'd
messy.
physically, like you said, I love that idea. Well, not love it, but just the reference of looking at people that hit it quickly, and then same thing with lottery winners when they hit that quickly, and they don't have the capability to sustain it, they lose it quickly, and that's exactly it. It's a great example of like what could happen and why we essentially do things in a progressive way because the change doesn't last when it's done in a way that's not safe or not comfortable or stable. Like you said, and
Yeah.
you have the ability to be the container for it versus, just being thrown into it.
Yes, yes, and to continue to think of the journey along the way as your evolution, not your destination. And I know that sounds cliche, we hear it all the time, but that's what we talked about last week was that your dreams are your shining light, are that lighthouse rather than um a yes or no. There's
Mhm.
no there's no yes or no. It's all yes, your dreams are what they're there for you, absolutely. If you
Mhm.
have them in your heart, those are your dreams. Now let's focus on getting you there
Yeah.
and stay in that focus there because like if I say like I said, I want more, but it's not here yet. It's taking too long. Oh, I took my focus off of the journey and placed it on the destination, which isn't going to help me because now I'm in lack. Now I'm
Yes.
looking at what's missing rather than, oh, wow, well, look at the growth I just had. Like, look at the awarenesses I just had at that women's conference. Every time you go to a gathering like that, you awaken to a new level. You feel your edges and go, oh, I just got a really great awareness that I'm thinking this way because boom,
Mhm.
that's it. That's the growth. That's that's what we
Yeah.
want. Little
And you're
steps.
allowed to walk through that. Like you said, it's just taking that next step, um, and sometimes we get caught in the fear of, well, I don't know exactly what the next step will do or lead me, or like you said, even the fear around the speaking. And you notice, like you said, the frequency of the people around you, and well, maybe that's not meant for me. And you try to step back and then realize, no, 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 this is meant for me. This is what I'm supposed to do. And it's paying attention, and that's what we kind of mentioned earlier about like one of the tools is like leaning in at the very beginning, leaning into what feels right for you. We never know specifically where it's going. We're never guaranteed a thing,
Right?
but we just keep taking the steps towards what feels right, where our dream is leading us, like you said, that guiding light, that lighthouse, and just feel into what feels right. We talked earlier about like the regimen and like in the morning and a pattern of how things need to go, but there is no pattern or program. We just need to the best routine is to trust your intuition and what you're supposed to receive. Like you said, one day it's painting, one day it's this. Feel into what feels right for you. And if it doesn't feel right, well then it's because it's not meant for you at the moment.
Right. Yes. Yes. And that's when you call in, the synchronicities and connections. You get a hit to, really feel like going shopping today
Yep.
or something. That happened to me years ago. One of the things I had, when I had my book launch, which was 9 years ago, I can't believe it. Um, a friend had lent me some beautiful dresses to wear for my book launch, and I absolutely loved them. And I had them, and I had said to her, "Where did you get these?" And she was oh no, I hadn't asked her that yet. I had the dresses, I had them dry cleaned, and I had to take them back to her. And time had gone on, and the one day I got up and I thought, "Oh gosh, I've got to deliver some paintings and prints. I need to take those dresses back to her." That
Mm.
was the hit. Today's the day. We're doing this. Like, it was a, "Yep, go" day.
Mhm.
And so I brought them to her. I handed them to her at her door. I'm like, "Man, I love those dresses. Where did you get those dresses?" And she told me the store, which was like in one of the towns near me. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm delivering a print to that town today. Maybe I'll go in there and see." Well, I did. I went into that store. And as I walked into the store, right there in the front of the rack was that dress, my size, 50% off.
No
And,
way.
no, I'm not kidding. Like, that's the magic that happens when you start listening to those hits that you get of like, "Oh, today you're gonna do this," or "Today's the day you should call this person," not
Mhm.
the day when you're like, "Oh, I should be calling them. I feel bad that I haven't." You just wait, and you wait for the pull, wait for that, like, yes moment, the yes, and
Yes is
think
your inner guidance. Yeah.
yeah.
Allow it to guide you. Your
Yeah,
intuition, like your feeling is your guidance system. There's a reason there is no right and wrong between for anything. It's what feels right for you, what feels not so right for you, what feels wrong. Like there's a
yeah,
bad feeling. So it's just a matter of what feels right today? What do I feel like or lean into when it feels good and know and pay attention to? But here's the thing, if anybody's listening and you're like, I don't know what feels right, because we've never been taught how to use this guidance system.
right.
We have this beautiful power within us, but it's always been look for the answers outside of you. Is your teacher right? Or your teacher tells you what's right. Your mom tells you what's right. Your parents, your siblings, your boss. Like we are always taught to find the right and wrong outside of us. The law
Yeah.
tells you what's right. Society tells you what's right. But we all have this inner ancient guidance system that is ingrained in us. It's a gift that's been given to us that leads us in the right direction if we learn to trust it. But we just got to start learning to lean in and learning to pay attention to those nudges that you mentioned.
Yes. Yes, it's a little subtle. I always said it's like butterfly wings in the peripheral of your vision.
Mm.
That's what it is. It's there, and it's fluttering, and you're like, "Oh," sorry. "Oh, there it is. I see it now. How did I not notice that before?"
Hmm.
Right? Um But yeah, and also, taking it's the awareness. It's building the awareness and being present in the moment.
Yeah.
That's the huge, huge you cannot get around that. You
Mm-mm.
can't get around that. That is the foundation of it all, is to be in the present moment right here, right now.
Yeah.
And whatever way that helps you, like, I am a very strong believer in meditation. Like, I
Hmm.
know there's people that say, "I can't meditate," and I think, "Baloney, yes, you can."
Just never practiced it enough. It's like
Yes,
everything else. Like you
and
just
do it the
practice it.
way that works for you in the
Yes.
beginning, right? So maybe you need to go for a walk while you listen to a guided meditation.
Hmm.
Because you need to keep your body moving, right? You're that kinesthetic kind of learner, and you've always had to do. So now you're going to learn how to walk in nature while you listen to a guided meditation, or paint while you listen to a guided meditation, right? And
Hmm.
eventually you do get to a point where you just want to be. You just want
Yeah.
to breathe into the moment. But it takes commitment, and it takes a focus. But that will bring you into paying more attention moment by moment. It'll pull you back when you're like, "Oh my gosh, I've been standing here thinking about whatever, past or future." And forgot where I was. Like,
Mhm.
like they say, you're driving down the highway and you don't know how you got from A to B because your mind was everywhere but right here.
Yeah, that's scary. Yeah, I had that chat this morning too, actually, literally. Um, I can't imagine, when you first start driving a vehicle and you're like, "Oh my gosh," you're so scared because 'cause you're driving this vehicle and the implications of that are massive, and then we get to this point in our life where we get to, like, we could drive down the road and not know where we are or how we got there. And then it's like, I just drove this, like, heavy vehicle at a velocity of whatever. Anyway, it's just funny that we get to that point where we're like, "Ah, it doesn't matter." But we're paying attention. Anyway, so, like you said, it's that those moments that we let go, that we want to be more present at the moment. And like you said, you talked about going for a walk in nature. Meditation is a practice, just like leaning into your intuition and your inner guidance system. All of those things take practice. And again, we've never really utilized it. It's a tool that's out there and we just never really utilized it. Meditation could also, like you said, going for a walk in nature while listening, it could just start be by going for a walk, like, whatever makes you feel grounded, aligned, whatever brings you calm, that could be the start. It doesn't need to be anyone's shape, like anyone else's shape or form. It's whatever, like you said, that the meditation is for you. And just allow yourself to, whatever brings you peace inside. Start
Yeah.
there and just practice. Like it's like a workout. The first time you do a workout, the movements are awkward, and or yoga. Movements are awkward, the positions are hard, you can't hold them. It's difficult because their muscles aren't strong enough, but you go again and you go again and you go again and eventually gets to the point where it's second nature.
Yes. Yes. And meditation is that, like you said, it is that space of peace. Because if you can imagine that within you is this beautiful space of calm, peace, like Zen garden, it's there.
Mhm.
And you'll figure out how to access that the more you keep going and it can there's many many different ways of meditating, and it's not all just about focus on nothing.
Mhm. Yeah,
or
how
your
zen can my brain be?
yeah. Like, yeah, I started my journey through visualizations
Mhm.
because I could not settle my mind, but I could definitely do a visualization, a guided visualization, and I could sell meditations, which is what I do now in my meditations is very much a guided. I'm going to guide you there. I'm going to take you there. And in your mind's eye, you're going to see things, your own things. It's going to look different than what I'm seeing as I'm guiding you. But that's what you need to pay attention to. Those are your messages coming through, the colors, the symbols, the images, whatever. And so that is always, my go-to for people is like, "Okay, let me take you there. Just
Mhm.
close your eyes, I'll take you there." And, and it works very, very well. And now I am, after years and years, like I started 30 years ago, started meditating, and years later was when I started to get to the point of like, I just gonna I'm just gonna sit here and breathe. And just be, and just
Yeah.
focus on that light within me, and that's still there are days I still can't do that. There are days
Yeah.
when things are
Oh,
going on and my mind is running, and yeah.
yeah,
So
that's a really good point too. Because, like you said, I've been in this practice for, lots of years. And it's just like you said, there's definitely days where I cannot sit still and I have too much going on in my head. I'll even sit down and try to be like, no, and then try again. And then, no, no, this isn't working. And have to get up and go. And that's not something that's not normal. So even,
right.
even if you, because I've also sat in meditations for almost 2 hours. So it's like, even though you can, doesn't mean every day is going to be the same. And it's leaning into what feels right for you.
Oh, so beautiful. And then we just said that too for the day, every day. So I feel the energy of, okay, go. You need to do things today. It's a do day. Yeah. Um,
Mhm.
you might be feeling the, yeah, I don't feel that. Just ignore everybody else and what they say the energy should feel like, especially right now with all the talk of the astrology. You just feel what your higher wisdom is telling you to do
Yeah.
for the day. And it's not, remember, it's not personality or ego or, "Okay, you're telling me I don't have to go to work today. Yay."
Yeah. Yeah, you still gotta do the things, but
You still gotta do the things, and that's more the ego part going, "Oh, so I don't have to go to work today." But,
I don't feel like I want to work today.
yes,
That would be every day, but that's okay.
but I feel like I wanna go shopping. Okay, well, sorry, but the bank account's not agreeing with that.
So we still need to do the things, but
Yeah.
even in the moments, like, even if you do have to work, take a moment. Like, literally yesterday, I had a full day, and it was just like, I needed 5 minutes, and I had a call with a friend of mine first thing in the morning, and I even messaged her. I'm like, "I just need a few minutes." And like you said, just sat and it may only be 5 minutes, but I sat in silence for 5 minutes without music, without anything else, without guidance, and I just sat and went within and just felt into what that was supposed to be. Like, that was what I was feeling like I needed. And so I created space for that. But I still had a full day. So it's not like, okay, I'm going to sit here for 2 hours. I need a minute. And I asked for the space and allowed myself the space to do that. And I want to, if anybody's listening, give me permission to do that. Again, don't make yourself late for work, but
Exactly.
find the right times. It could be during a lunch break. Even if you can't do it in this quick moment right now, make a priority for yourself to really feel into what feels right for you and find time for you at some point where you can do what feels right for you today.
Yes. Oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful. Boy, we've done the full spectrum here.
I love how
I
we have these conversations that just evolve into like that.
I love it. Yes. Yes, I love it, and, I think that it's so needed out there. There's so many people that are navigating through things, and, this self-awareness, higher consciousness work is busy. It's very busy for you. It's not easy, and there's more and more people stepping into it, which is very exciting, but it also can make the energy very messy out there. So very important to continue to do your practices for you and go within and have a support system to help you if you need that connections. Because yeah, like this conversation, I love it. I love
Oh,
this conversation, and I just, it's not in other areas of my life, in which a lot of you find, right? Like,
yeah.
it's not there. "Well, I haven't got anyone to talk to about this stuff." Yes, you will. You will. You will. But
Well, and that's a great opportunity of like, there's four of us in this circle. And if you don't have a space, connect with one of us, follow us on Facebook because all of us have circles or are connected to other people. And even if one of our circles isn't the one that's right for you, if you come into the circle and just hang out for a minute, you'll find other spaces in which it'll like again, things lead to other things. We don't
yes.
need to make a decision that this is the thing I'm doing and I'm doing it for the rest of my life. Lean into what feels good right now, and it's meant to lead you to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. There's always
Yes.
opportunity.
And I did what you brought up there, I wanted to say was, the connections, like, we're all over the place. We're across Canada.
Yeah.
So, Alana's in PEI,
Mhm.
Pamela's in Ontario, I'm in Alberta, and Angela is in South Africa. Like, we're spread out,
Yeah.
and what I was mesmerized by was, like, I see the circles growing in my community. I live in a small town, and I don't know if we're at 10,000 people yet or not, but it's a small town, and we suddenly have women coming out of the woodwork looking for circles and gathering. When I went to this conference on Sunday was a new circle of women. I only knew one woman going into it.
Wow.
And I thought, no, this is what I need to do. It was a very strong pull. So I went and it was in Edmonton, which was, 2 hours away from me. And what a beautiful, big group of women all in the same kind of frequency, like that same frequency of rising up, of listening to our intuition, of bringing forth their gifts. And so I'm just like sitting there going, wow, like Canada is exploding right now. And it's all over, like all over the US. So once you start to reach out and make connections, um, and how we connected across one side of the country to the other, right? It was through Alana and I have never met in person,
No.
right? So so it's been through groups and I love it. So join groups, make
Yeah.
connections, follow people. You'll get there.
And I want to also kind of put a throw out there for Spirituality Amplified. We're in the process of creating a physical space here locally
Yeah.
for more people connected. It's about hosting a platform for people that are practitioners of all shapes, modalities, and different things to come together under one space. But it's where you can connect with more people, and that's exactly it. And it's as soon as we have the local location figured out, we're reopening because it was a virtual space, still is. We still have a Facebook group, which is very quickly growing. And but that's exactly, we have a global connection there as well. And that's how you and I connected, is in that space. I was in the space of growing that space. And that's how you and I connected with Angela through the same thing of just sharing the vision of what we're creating with Spirituality Amplified. And that's how I connected with Pam.
Mhm.
And so this is the opportunity where when we launch the in-person space, we're going to relaunch the virtual and do an event. And we already have within that space, globally, we have over 20 practitioners that have their own spaces as well. So by all means, I would love to invite anybody that's curious to look in and to reach out to connect, because that opportunity is there. It's not just these spaces that we're connected with individually in our own practice, but there is a global movement to create more connection with more people. So
There is. And I just remembered how I connected with you. It was one of the women in my groups
yeah.
was also in your group, and she said to me, "Have you heard of Spiritually Amplified in Atlanta?" I'm like, "No." "Oh, you need to connect with her. She's in Canada too." And this other woman is
Down in the States, yeah, Lori.
down in the States. And so I'm like, "Oh, another fellow Canadian. Okay. Yeah."
Right?
Yeah, so love you and thank you for this. And I feel like this is complete. Do you have
Yeah, I
anything
feel the
else you
same.
want to say? Yeah, the only thing I'll say is I'm starting a new round of the soulfully aligned art of inner coherence. It's a mini session, it's 5 sessions of releasing fear frequencies. So that's what's happening for me. All
Exciting.
right. All right, thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us here. And we encourage you to subscribe, to share this with other women. If you don't realize this is actually on cable TV show too. We air in on Rogers
Ontario.
Cable
On Rogers
TV
Cable, yep.
in oh my Georgina,
Yep,
Ontario. So, a big shout out to Georgina people. We love you. Thank you for
yeah.
watching. Um, and so, yeah, share this with everyone else. Follow us on our YouTubes, on our social media, and we look forward to seeing you. And remember that the light is always here for you, never goes out. We are here every week. So we'll see you
Mhm.
next week.
Alright,
Right?
well, thank you so much. We'll see you all. Have a beautiful day.
Bye.